All right, welcome back, ladies and men of prestige. Welcome back to the platform. Let's talk. We got a very important topic to talk about today. We're going to react to a few videos. All right, shout out to the Frankly Speaking podcast. We're going to be responding to a few clips from their platform. Within the fair use guidelines. How's everyone doing? D-Love, good to see you. Do me a favor, hit that like button, share and subscribe as you're coming in. Hit that like button, share and subscribe as you're coming in. Let's have a conversation today about friendships. Okay? Let's talk about friendship today. We'll talk about relationships here, but I'm not sure we can talk about relationship without talking about friendships. Because I personally believe that the core backbone of every relationship is the underlying friendship. You know, it's the one little extra thing that kind of mitigates against the dangers and the downside of the transactional nature of relationships in general. You know, the friendship is it's kind of something that we can lean on when we are being human. When we are being humans, right? In the relationship, we can rest on the friendship sometimes. You know, when we're not perfect, right? So let's talk about it today. It showcases in our professional life. Excuse me. It shows in our professional life, right? It shows in our personal life. It shows in our romantic relationships, right? It's basically something that we encounter from time to time. A lot of you are friends with your siblings. Like, those are your friends, right? So this old friendship thing, can get very complicated. Why? Because of one reason. Excuse me. This old friendship thing can get very complicated very quickly because of one thing, because of expectations. Unmanaged expectations. All right, good to see you, D'Souza. Welcome. Please hit that like button, subscribe. The algorithm is slowing down on us, probably because of the last week and everything. We shook things up a little bit. No worries. There's only one variable here, okay, and that's my consistency. Everything else follows, okay. Everything else follows. It takes time sometimes, but you know, everything follows. So if you're here, shout out to you. I appreciate you. Either you're watching live or rebroadcast, it doesn't matter. Thank you. I appreciate you. Just make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribe as you're coming in. So like I said, today we're going to talk about Harry's song. Okay. The gentleman next to him apparently is someone that a lot of people would say they were friends. But he's made it known to the public that did it say they were never friends? I want to play a few clicks for you today, okay? And I want us to assess it together, okay? What qualifies as friendship, right? What are the different types of friendships, right? Why should we care about this topic at all if I'm just about chasing my bag, getting to my bag, and well, I'll tell you what. This guy that just basically disclaimed his friend, or who people thought was his friend, they were chasing back together. So maybe not so quick, right? Maybe not so quick. But again, shout out to you. What's going on, Osmosis? Good to see you, brother. Yeah. So let's talk about it today. And yeah, without any further ado, let's just go ahead and get started, okay? All right, welcome back. All right. So, like I was saying, today we're talking about Harry Song. It's a popular Nigerian singer. Okay. It's probably been on the scene for about a decade or so, maybe a little bit longer. But he has he has some good songs out there. As a matter of fact, I remember him from songs like "I'm in Love," right? There's a song like that, right? That he had out there that was struggling on the streams for a long time before I think Olamide jumped on one of his songs, and he's now a superstar songwriter and singer. At one point, it was in the camp of I think they call them 5 Star KC and them E Money KC. He was in that camp, those high life Igbo boys type of camp. But yeah, that's the guy in white. The guy to your right, to the right of the screen. I hope that's the right of the screen, right? His name is Soso Sobrekon, something like that. But they call him Soso. He's popularly known as Soso. He's a music executive. He manages a lot of artists. He manages, as a matter of fact, you could see him with Davido, traveling around the world, right? I don't know exactly what his role is, but bottom line is like he's a guy who is kind of like meat behind the scenes. You will see him in pictures. You will see him with the celebrities. Let's just call him a music executive, right? So, I'm gonna play a couple of clips. This topic today is it's really about ideologies, extreme ideologies, and as usual, I push against any form of extreme on either side, right? Because it doesn't really help. Like when you are extreme and you think you're just, you think you're making your stance known. You're not sitting on the fence, and you're extreme because everybody must know what I stand for, right? It's a level of weary, right? It's a level of craziness, if you will, right? And for every time you're extreme like that, there's somebody that has better weary than you, right? And they can take that to the next level for you that you didn't really think existed before, right? See, you're just talking. You just have an ideology. You say something, you don't mean no harm, but there's always some little child somewhere that don't have any kind of how should I describe it? They don't have any form of balance in their way of life and thinking. Anything they believe in, they take it to the next extreme. And you never knew that extreme existed in the first place. You were just being like, Yeah. So I'm going to give you an example for you. I'm going to play some clips, right? All of this is going to be used within the, let me just put that here, just to make that clear. Used within fair use guidelines. Okay? Because we will talk, and I will be analyzing everything they have to say so we can have a real life example of what we're talking about here. Okay, I just want to make sure that this is on the screen. As a matter of fact, yeah, let's put that on the screen right there, but I'm also going to put it on the scroller so we don't have any funny content creators abusing the system here. Okay, there you go. Put that on the scroller. Perfect. All right, so we're going to be reviewing some of those video clips from the Frankly Speaking I was about to say Frankly Speaking guideline, right? Let's see. Let me just make sure I show this on the screen. Okay, we're going to be using this within the fair use guidelines. So if anyone wants to get dramatic, please reach out to us. We are able to respect your work, but we have to talk about this. We have to talk about this. All right, so let's get to the first clip really quickly, and then I'll tell you what they said. What they said really wasn't too bad, but it's a little bit off, right? And I tell you what's off about it. Then we'll go into what Harry Song said, and then I'll show you how they're now trying to back off of it, right? Like when it's already too late, because this has been This went viral. Okay. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can pull up the video, because I would like to also review what some people were saying in the comments. Oh, comment reaction is some of the best thing ever. I used to do comment reactions, but maybe we can, if we have time, we'll do some today. Okay. Let's see. All right. Actually, that video has 79,000 views right now. So we will be reviewing comment. All right, perfect. I have that open, ready to go. So let's watch the first. Let me lower this volume a little bit, and then we're gonna get into the first clip. Let's play the first clip. Let's see.
I think this is because we I think this is because.
So the topic of the actual, it's one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. Okay. And the particular topic they were talking about, they said friendship in industry. And the original title of the topic, let me see if I can find it, and I'll tell you what they are talking about. They said it's industry friendship, about gameful relationship or something like that. I'm trying to look for it. I can't find it now. Yeah, I can't find it right now. That's okay. All right. So, but it's something about friendship, or people are just out to gain from your friendship, something like that, right? And that's what they're talking about. So after this guy, Nedu is his name, the one with the face hat on. Let me just get that off. After he talked about the industry, and he talked about, okay, blah, blah, blah. People, there was a guy that was, because it's a radio host, there's a guy he helped play songs for and stuff like that. And one day he stopped him and he was like, yo, Baba, what is my name? And the guy didn't even know his name. And that was him making a case for, okay, people just want what they want. They're just selfish. And a lot of times people get into an industry, and once they have a little bit of a working relationship, they start calling each other friends. I personally think it's normal human behavior. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so it's called friendship in industry, genuine or for selfish gain. So, for example, where some of us were content creators or digital marketers in this internet industry, right? When people say, "Hey, let's collaborate," is it genuine, or is it for selfish, what's it call it, for selfish gain, right? I personally think 2, 3, 4, 5 things can be true at the same time. Okay, I think that that you can definitely create authentic relationships, friendship, right, from work, right, from a working relationship, right. But when people get hurt, then they start to come up with all kind of crazy ass theory, which they discussed here today, right? So good to see you, Mrs. She Said. Good to see you. Welcome. Once they get hurt, they start to create all kind of ideologies and theoretical theories, and from common sense. And like I always say, common sense is a terrible guide to relationships. All right. So that's what they were talking about. And then one of the characters on this podcast shows, her name is Naomi. In my opinion, she's one of the realest. Not because she's always saying what makes sense, because I believe her when she says what she means. I believe the rest are also very good. But I believe some, they say they are too engaged with making sure something sounds right. Right? And then we don't get the authentic, and we can tell that it's not authentic. Right? So, but Naomi, the girl with the glasses on, is one of the one I think she's real. I don't think she's perfect. I think she says some things like, what the hell? But I believe her, that she really means that, and she believes what she's saying, right? And I prefer that, because human beings are not perfect. They're not supposed to be perfect. I prefer that you say what you mean, so I can at least know what we're dealing with, right? So, Let's keep going. I'm gonna play that video right now.
Because we very often loosely use the word friendship.
I was going to say
Do you understand? Because once you meet somebody, you guys are talking or you guys are doing business together. Before you know, you start calling the person your friend.
My friend, my guy.
There are actually differences. There's a friend, there's a colleague, there's an acquaintance, there's somebody you know. For me, when you say someone is your friend, that person has to be someone that is your friend, not because you guys are doing something together, not because you guys are working together, or because you guys have mutual needs together. So your friend is somebody who knows you in and out, someone who knows, like me. If you don't know me to my house, if you don't know me to my mother, you're not my friend, and I cannot So yeah.
Yes,
so,
she's right.
All right, so she's wrong. Like I said, I believe that she means what she said, right? But she's wrong, okay? Now she's wrong with regards to how the reality is. The reality is what she said first, which is what she said here. Okay, let me play it back. The reality for majority of us, there's always an exception, is that when we work with people, right? She said it first, but then she said, for me, like if you don't know me to my house, that's completely cap. Okay, we create friendship. It starts from somewhere. It's not always. It doesn't always start from, they don't fall from the heaven into your house. So that's absolutely cap, right? And I believe that we should always acknowledge reality before we try to solve the problem. If we try to deny reality, the problem is a wound. It's an open wound, right? We need to address the actual issue. Let's go back to what she said first.
Meet somebody, you guys are talking or you guys are doing business together. Before you know,
if you're doing business together, you can create friendship from that. That's just the reality. Now, if you eventually end up in a bad relationship with that person, you don't have to go back and blame the fact that you call them a friend, quote unquote, too early. You don't have to do that. That's not the problem. The problem is that the relationship broke down. Broken down communication. It happens. It's just life. But what we tend to do is we reflect back into the past and say, did I make the wrong move here? Did I call this person a friend too early? Is there different types of friendship? She said colleague, you're just talking, all this kind of stuff, right? It's all friendship. But that's also why you have best friends and you have friends, right? Yoruba people will call certain type of friends korikosun. The reality is what she said first.
I was going to say
you understand? Because once you meet somebody, you guys are talking or you guys are doing business together.
She said we use the word friends loosely. No, we use the word friend the way we use them. Very simple. If you feel comfortable with a person, you call them your friend. It's okay. It's absolutely okay to get comfortable with a person. You went to lunch together during break at work. You tend to relate. You finish each other's sentences. You work together really cool, right? Initially, you don't know each other. So, everything seems cool, right? It's okay to call them a friend. There's nothing wrong with that. Because here's why it's very important that I say it this way. It's very important that I say it this way because somebody now, right, they're going to go back to their job and make it known because they are assertive, and they speak blunt and make it known to everybody, like, just so you know, you're not really my friend. We just work together. There are people like that. You'll be shocked. Why? Because they heard Naomi saying we use the word friend loosely. No, we use the word friend loosely because if you feel comfortable around a person, they are your friend. Not because you call them your friend, because you feel like they're your friend. Most times you're not going to say you're my friend now. You're not toasting them to be your friend. That does happen, but usually that's not how it works. Like all the parties get comfortable and they're friends, right? You see somebody on somebody else's page on Instagram and they say, this guy, yeah, that's my friend, right? That doesn't mean you know each other's house. That doesn't mean you've seen each other's family member. No, it doesn't have to be. Why do we always engage more ways to discount the little bitty left relationship that we have left? Why do we do that? I know why. Because of the hurt. right? You feel disappointed, you feel a little bit of betrayal, you want to pull everything back. You want to say, hey, that person was never my friend. This is why they did that. No, it's the closest people to you that will hurt you. You never heard that before? Let's keep going.
Before you know, you start calling the person your friend.
My friend, my guy.
There are actually differences. There's a friend.
No, there's no difference. You call them your friend because you feel like they're your friends. You want to call them acquaintances. That's just English. That's just semantics. That's just semantics. I hear it so often, like, oh, there's acquaintances and there's friends. Like, dude, if you have to say all of that, that's just your friend. If you have to mansplain what level of friendship you have with this guy, that person is around you, they're your friend. Now, what level of friendship, he has a point about what level of friendship. There's usually something, an event that happened that made you feel like you have to explain that. We need to acknowledge what happened, not the titles. That's what we need to acknowledge and focus on. What happened? Where was the relationship? Where was the communication tampered with? What happened? Did somebody jealous? What happened? But I'm telling you, the hurt you're going to experience in life, just as a default of life, it's not going to come from strangers on the streets. It's going to come from people that are in your life. So effectively, you probably should stop altogether. Stop trying to avoid the reality. You once upon a time called them your friend, right? You're calling them your friend because you're comfortable. Sometimes they called you a friend first and you're like, we're not really friends. Okay, that means you don't feel safe with them. That's okay too. Sometimes it's one person that feels that comfort zone before the other person. But particularly today, there's a lot of energy that's going into semantics when all of that energy should go into learning how to nurture relationships. Okay? Part of nurturing relationships is to know when to walk away if it's not valuable to you. That's part of it, right? So you can create room for the right types of friends. So no one is asking you to stay stuck in a friendship that's not valuable to you. That's not what I am saying at all. What I am saying is that obsession about the past is going to hurt you more. Right? Let's keep going.
And there's the colleague, there's an acquaintance,
there's somebody you know.
For me, when you say someone is your friend, that person has to be someone that is your friend, not because you guys are doing something together, not because you guys are working.
A lot of time you are friends because you're doing something together. And by the way, that's enough. If you spend enough time around a person, you're getting value from spending time around them. It could be because of work, but you're getting value, right? And it is what it is. And some people are comfortable to say that's my friend. Some people also are okay with saying, oh, my colleague. There's nothing wrong with saying that's my colleague. But if you have to use the word acquaintances, something is off and wrong. A colleague is a colleague. You work with them. A friend is a friend. You feel like they're your friend. Right? But acquaintances, anytime people use that word, I just want
Stop the cap.
I just want to call a cap. It's acquaintance. It's just, oh, she's just an acquaintance. What's just? What is just? Right? Anyway, let me go on to the next clip. So when she said that so innocently. She meant what she said. She probably heard it from somewhere. That's fine. There's nothing wrong. It's just an opinion, right? But here's why they're not just an opinion. Somebody's gonna hear that and take that to the next level for you. And that person that was the guest on the show, and that's Harry Song. And that's what we're talking about today. All right. Hey, Ruth. Good to see you, Ruth. Welcome. All right. So let's go. Let's go on to the next one here. All right.
Because this is frankly speaking. So some things need to be said frankly.
Exactly.
Yeah, like you understand. Like in the industry, the people that are misled, they are the fans. People on the internet.
So let me pause first. He said because this is frankly speaking. That's the name of the podcast. Again, it's one of my favorite podcasts. You can check them out. They're funny. Like two of them are comedians of some sort, skit makers, right? He said because this is frankly speaking. What? Now that is going to become a license for him to start cutting people, right? He's saying, listen, you just gave me a license. Let me go mad crazy, right? You have platforms on YouTube, right, where people will say something as simple like, oh, this woman need to be held accountable. And there's a little 19-year-old boy who was dumped last year when he was a senior in high school. And it's like, yeah, fuck this host. Like, you didn't see that coming, right? Yeah, because you just said, hey, held accountable. But what they heard is like, fuck this host, right? We have to be careful, especially we have a lot of children on the internet, literally overgrown adolescents. They don't know where we draw the lines. When you give them a little bit of a seed of craziness, their own level of craziness go crazy. So you have to be, as a leader in this society, you have to be sensitive enough to know that, hey, this thing is a seed. If we don't present it properly, right? Social skills, right? Presentation skills. It can be taken by the wrong people to another level that's toxic for the community. If you really care about the community, I'm saying, right? Right? You can't care more about the need of what you have to say than the effect, the negative effect or toxic effects it can have on the rest of the society. So now this guy is saying, oh, since we're frankly speaking, let me just go ahead and spit my guts out, right? And see if we can destroy each other more. Let's listen to what he has to say.
They're misled because of their emotions. They tie emotions to a particular artist and tie emotions to whatever story that's said out there, and they are misled.
By the way, the guy that's talking right now is the guy in the white suit, just so you know.
And most of the times they will bash the wrong person because the other person I first come lie and can talk certain things about friendship. Hey, I do this, I do that, you know. So
let's get something straight. The internet is never at fault for your personal issues. I don't care if you're a superstar. Okay? It's called the media. It's a part of a society. It is what it is, right? They're going to interpret how they interpret. They're not the court of law, right? They can't put you in jail. Not really, right? Not really. They're influential, but not really, okay? They can't put you in jail. So the media, all the audience in the media, like regular people consuming content online, they can't hurt you. If somebody rushed to the media and says and push out a narrative about you, and you now say, hey, people are gullible, like dude, let's not be stupid. They're supposed to be gullible. It's entertainment, it's educational, it's whatever it is. It's because they don't really have the power to hurt you. Really, it's a keyword, right? They do, but not really, okay? Not really, at least not with respect to the way the society is structured, right? So once somebody starts to blame the audience, I already know that this person is not ready. They weren't properly prepared for the responsibility that they have as a superstar, as a rock star, as a person of influence. You're not properly prepared. Anyone can say anything they want in this comment, in this chat. My feelings can be hurt because I'm a human being. They're still not wrong. Like, they're not wrong because I put myself out there, right? Like, it's not relevant. Wrong is not relevant, right? Because you put yourself out there. So the moment somebody starts to say, is the audience fault? It tells you how far backwards they are. Let's keep going.
You know, sometimes even in relationships, you can see that the first person will come cry first. Hey, now he slap me and I kick me. You see that they go down first, they slap that guy. Unless you're that.
What he said is that even in relationship, the first person that gets on the internet to cry is the person that people sympathizes with. That's not true. Okay, that's not true. The dynamics are different from men to women. If a woman comes on the internet and cries about something that she had been abused or something like that, people will probably believe her faster than they believe a man. Again, I'm not blaming the audience. It's just the way the society is structured. That's the way it's set up. So he's already wrong with that statement too. What he's saying is that, hey, if I rush to the internet and there's a disagreement between me and my friend, people are going to believe me first. No, people actually will listen closely. Some of them will take, some will run with it. Some of them will believe anything, and there's everything in between. All right? So it's a blanket generalized statement. and at best is, no, I'm trying to be nice, it's generalized.
I gotta get evidence to say no be me do this thing. No. See what's really happening.
Because evidence not get harder for people.
Yeah, so internet.
What some people call evidence sometimes is PTRs. On Clubhouse, they call it PTRs. They show a screenshot. Screenshots are not really evidence, right? People will believe what they want to believe. They believe what's believable for them based on their own personal experiences, their own what they can relate with. That's what people believe on an individual by individual basis. Now, overall, based on the nature of your story, people may believe one part of the narrative, right, that tends to be heavier than the other side. But it's probably because they're right. Because again, human beings are spirits. We have incredible radar for bullshit overall, right? Can they be wrong? Yes, they can be wrong too. But that's something you should expect. When you're a person who is responsible for a big platform, you're a person of influence, right? The bottom line still here is that when a person is blaming the audience for the crisis they're going through, that's exactly why they went through that crisis. That's exactly why they're ending up in more trouble. Precisely.
Fans, they misled. Sometimes the other person could die with waiting you no do.
So he's saying the audience is misled. The audience is never misled. No. Audience believe what they believe. They don't have a stake in your bullshit. It is what it is. They believe in what they believe in. And if it's going to affect your pocket, you hire a good PR to help you navigate the narratives. Right? It's not about being fair. It's not fair by default. Right? He says sometimes people will die what they've been accused them of, even though it's a lie. No. When somebody starts to talk like that, you know that they want to paint a narrative that will make people believe their own side. They're trying to say they're the only truth teller. They're trying to monopolize the word truth in that context, and it's bullshit at best.
Also friendship, this industry, there's 90% all the friendships are my guy, my G, all are fake.
90% of all his guys, his friends are fake. All right, so some of us, we don't just run around town and say friendships are fake. We understand friendship for what they are. We don't attach too much expectations to them. Of course, people are selfish. Of course, people are out to take care of themselves. Of course, they are your friends because they're also getting some type of value from that friendship. That is the default. It's not something wrong. It's the default. People are your friends because they are getting some type of value from that friendship. This is the default. It doesn't discount the meaning of friendship. You don't get to come and say friendship are fake because people want what they want or they get value from your friendship. Right? You just don't get to say that. You could say it is basically you trying to avoid reality, and you can avoid reality all you want, but you cannot avoid the consequences of avoiding reality. Let's keep going real quickly. Let's see here.
But we all know that this industry, like, it's about race. When you end,
let me go on straight to the next clip, okay? Because this is another girl. I forgot what's her name. What's her name? Tone. Okay, this is Tone.
There's 90% all the friendships are my guy, my G. All.
He's generalizing. You know how we feel about generalizing here, right? We give grace, but we know that it's bullshit. Right? We give you grace. I mean, why? Because we all generalize to some extent, okay? It's just a natural thing to do. When you have certain types of experience, you blanket everybody together. You say, hey, this is the truth based off of your experience. But it's part of our bullshit as human beings, okay? So we can definitely pick that up right now. 90% of all friendship are fake. What do you mean? Right? Like, he's not necessarily wrong, but what do you mean? Explain yourself. Tell us the story. What happened? But guess what? He's going to tell us the story, right? And then you can see that, as usual, it's personal, right? It's personal, and he wants to save the rest of the world from falling into the same trap. The problem is that he can't save us from ourselves. It's called the human experience. It's what it is. People are going to have friendship. Even if it's prematurely titled friendship, it's part of the experience. It's what This is where we learn from our relationships. Friendship is a form of relationship, right? This is where we learn from. You're not going to learn from anything else, right? You're not going to learn from your generalization, which is what most other platforms do. They don't have any real examples. It's just generalizations, right?
All are fake.
But we all know that this industry, like, it's about race. When you enter, you don't enter with the mind of friendship. Just know that the next person beside you, they are deeply looking, like deeply in their hearts, hitting on you.
Yeah.
All right. So let's assess that real quick. So the first half of what she said is right. When you get into this kind of industry, any industry, of course it's a race. Dude, you're my competition. I'm about to crush. I'll destroy you completely. So you don't have any more business. Are you kidding me? If I have my way, I'm destroying. If I have my way, I'm destroying all the other channels on YouTube, and all the traffic will come here. Except Auntie B's, of course. Right? Maybe except Sir Hills. Right? I'm destroying everything. Okay, except Osmosis too. Osmosis created content as well, right? Right? But you get the gist, right? I'm destroying all the other channels if I have my way. It's a competition, dude. Are you kidding me? Do I have to paint that up for you? I have to tell you that in words? I have to say, oh, it's not really friendship before you realize it's competition? Of course, it's a race. So I agree with that part of what she said. The thing I don't agree with is that I say they're deeply hating on you. Okay, I see where she's getting at, right? If I have my way, I'll destroy your channel, does that mean I'm hating on you? Then so be it. Because again, it's all semantics, right? So be it, right? If that means I'm hating on you, I mean, knock yourself out. Interpret how you want, how you deem fit, right? But what is what is. It is what it is, right? You're my competition. You're my friend. I respect you. But I absolutely will wipe your business out so I can get more business. It's a competition. And I'll give you a job if you want one. Right? That's fair. Life is fair. No matter how you want to shape it. Listen, I know we have experiences that makes us feel like it's not fair. It's fair. Right? So now here's why you don't want to look at it as somebody's hating on you. When you feel like somebody's hating on you, that feels like an attack. If you handpick one person, a person that you work with, that you're in the same industry, you do the same thing, you're both comedians, right? And the way you're thinking about it, again, it's a mindset thing, right? The way you're thinking about it is that they're hating on you. That's an attack. It's only natural that you have to defend yourself, aka destroy them, aka attack them, be offensive, and nothing good is gonna. The ecosystems are not built like that, including what I said. Ecosystems are built off of healthy competitions, right? We can compete with each other, but we can also have relationships. We can be friends. We can collaborate, right? That's how it works in reality, right? And the more you know how to do those things and navigate that world, the better you are overall, right? As opposed to they're hating on you. Like, they're hating on you just sounds very, very toxic. And if you pick that up and you take that weary to the next level, and you feel like everyone around you is hating on you, you're not going to produce good fruit. You will self-destruct if you feel like everyone around you is out to get you. You will. So that's why our words are important. But more so, they are important in how we interpret them and how they create an impact on our mindset, because mindset is everything, right?
Like, you can't just put it out there. Like, you can't say, oh, this one is my friend, my G, don't worry, they've got my back. It's a lie. They will take another deal behind.
My friend is different from they got my back. Got your back as well. Right? We're not saying all that. They don't have your back. Right? They have their own back, including when they are authentically your friend. It's because they're getting some kind of value from being your friend. I think maybe the purest form here of relationship you can really think about, maybe a mother to a child. Well, even at that, we have mothers that dump their newly born baby in the garbage. Don't we have that? Like, come on, man. It's about balance in how we interpret these things. People can be your friend. They don't have to have your back. They can have your back to an extent, right? But they don't have to have your back. What do you mean by having your back is the question. Do you mean if you're both comedians, which is the case in some of the stories they told in this podcast, right? Do you mean that, if a gig comes to their table, they should call you first and give you the first right of refusal because they're your friend, they have you? No, it's a competition, dude, right? So again, I think Naomi is almost right when she said there's levels, right? I just don't like the terminology, the term acquaintances is ridiculous. That's one of the lame words we created in this generation to explain every minuscule part of a relationship. It's not necessary. A friend is a friend. A colleague is a colleague. If you don't like to call them your friend again, don't call them your friend again. Don't paint that picture on everyone that they must stop calling everyone who is a colleague a friend. It doesn't have to be. Okay? Anyway, so...
behind you.
And there's another thing I want to say. There's another thing I want to say. This is taking a step.
All right, let's go to the next one here.
The cult, they take them, they brag.
Yes,
I belong to this cult, I belong to that cult. People where you go think say get respect, we humble. Like Skibby. Skibby stayed in my house. I fed him, gave him money, clothes. They give him clothes for my house. The first house when I struggled, rent for Omoli. After the
again, now he's talking about all the people he's done stuff for in the past. This is what Yoruba people call siregun, onsiregun. If you do stuff for people, try your best. I know it's hard. If you feel hurt and betrayed, now you want to talk about all the things you've done for you, but it's terrible behavior. Okay, I actually learned that from my wife. I wasn't raised to know that because I wasn't in a position where I had to ever do that. So, you know what I say about Mr. Nice Guys and good guys? They do things because they want to be able to say, I did this. They're not thinking about it in the beginning, but if something happens to that relationship, if there's any level of form of betrayal, forget, it doesn't have to be betrayal. They just have to feel betrayed. It's just a feeling. If they feel betrayed at any point, they will start talking about all the things they've done. Okay? And that makes us want to say, hey, why did you do those things in the past? Was it authentically because you wanted to do it, or because of a feeling, a very selfish feeling you get from doing things for other people? There are people like that. They do things for you, they actually mean to, but they are also keeping stock. Right? I can see how entertainment industry friendships can be fake though. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's transactional. Doesn't mean it's fake. You should have expectations. That is transactional at its core. People want to build themselves first. That's why I say, what do you mean by it being fake? Do you mean, do they have to give you right of refusal first as a competitor before you finally say it's not fake? No, it is. If your definition is that, then it's fake. It's 100% fake, not 90%. It's 100% all fake. It's conditional. There's a value in it for them, is the point. Right? Hey, Lady Navoa, good to see you. Right? Just know that there's value in any relationship for anyone that's getting into it, right? When you know that, then there's something in it for you. What's in it for me? WIIFM. What's in it for me? It's always key in you learning how to seduce other people. Meaning, when I say seduce, I don't mean manipulation. I mean persuade. I mean persuasion skills, right? If there's nothing in it for them, you don't have any power. That means they can completely destroy you at any point in time because they're not getting anything. Right? These are the defaults. Okay, now let's keep going here.
1 week.
All right, let's go on to the next one here.
Me, I got the right, the record, do everything for him. Case he came to a Balogun bus stop to beg me to write for him. I believe in that time they were Casey.
He came to wherever that place, Balogun bus stop, to come and beg me. Listen, I'm not discounting that he did all of this stuff, but you why did you do it? You did it because there was value in it for you too. All right, so is it? We're going. Everything comes around. Let's go in full circle now, right? I've been talking about people are your friends by default because they get something from being your friend. That doesn't make it fake. It makes it the default. It's just what it is, right? They feel good. They like spending time with you. That's selfish. They like traveling with you around the world. That's selfish. Right? The question is that what are you getting from it? If you're not getting anything out of it, you don't have to discount the title you gave it when you felt good about it. At one point, you felt good about the friendship. You called it friendship. But suddenly, you don't feel good anymore because of obvious reasons. You feel some sense of betrayal. But now it's no longer friendship. No, it still was friendship. It's no longer friendship. It still was friendship. You yourself called it friendship. Why? Not because there's a particular mathematical formula to call it a friendship. It's because you felt good about it. No, you found out that, they don't have your back as much as they should have, in your opinion. Still an opinion, right? But now suddenly it's fake. So when you say something is fake, did they pretend to be your friend? Or they were just being your friend, but they just didn't have your back as much as you thought they would? What do you mean by fake is my question.
I'm trying to break up. I was the one that spoke to and begged Del B to believe in Casey.
He's talking about all the things he did for him. Congratulations. You helped Casey. You helped him with his career. Why was it fake friendship? Why was it fake friendship? Right? The Casey is talking about, he ended up in their camp. I don't think it was official, but he was their writer in their record label at the time. But it became nasty eventually. Why? Because of money. Typical. I mean, last week you saw the little drama between Diddy and Mace. Betha, right? You saw that, right? At one point they were doing like this on videos in the 90s. Right? Having a good time, spent all that money, and then when they saw the contract, they said, all this money we have to recoup. Like, oh shit, I feel betrayed. You're no longer my friend. Like, nah. You call them your friend because you felt safe. Hold yourself responsible. Were they really friends? I think that's where they're getting at. Were they really, really friends? I'm arguing that yes, when you spend enough time around people, you were friends. It's like the B2K or Marion saying we were never friends. No, they were. They spent so much time together in those roads, in those tour buses. They were friends. Right? You don't act like friends. You are friends. You're no longer friends. If somebody outrightly comes into your life to act like your friend, right? They just came to act like your friend just to take something from you, and it was all planned all along. Fake friendship do exist. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is, like, most things that people call fake friendship, they're usually not. It's just a betrayal. They're speaking from this place of hurt. Oh.
In Casey. You understand? But after the whole thing, when he blew up and I needed to at least fend for myself, get something for myself, because...
the guy blew up. He became much more popular. So you needed to fend for yourself. So what happened?
I don't live my whole life for you. You know, agree me to go. But when he come internet, come talking, saying, "I make me."
All right. So what happened was that the guy blew up. He helped him, whatever. He wrote songs for them. And it was when he blew up, he wanted to leave. So, but he didn't let him leave. Why? Because you signed a contract, my G. You signed a contract. Okay, there are terms in the contract, right? If your friend put out the paperwork and made you sign contract, is that friendship? It could be, but obviously the core of that relationship is not friendship. It's business. Listen, people can be your friend. You can still do business with them. This is the reality. All I'm doing is painting the reality for you, okay? When you come back and you come try to teach everyone not to be friends with people they do business with, you're not doing us a favor. If anything, you're teaching us that we can sign terrible contracts in the future and then come back later and blame it on something else. At that point, it won't be friendship because I never call them my friends, right? But I will still blame it on something else outside of self. Why did I sign a terrible contract? Okay, forget, we've all signed terrible contracts. Of course we have, right? You've subscribed to a job that you know you're worth more, but you were scared to take on a better offer. You just wanted to keep that offer. You signed it, right? How do you mitigate that? How do you solve that problem? You don't say, hey, let me go. That's not how that works. You negotiate. You negotiate. Remember, there's value on both sides. Regardless, the default is that there's always value on both sides. There's a reason why you stayed. There's a reason why the other person is staying in that relationship with you. That's the bottom line. It may not be the same level. It depends on who is measuring it. It depends on how you're measuring the value, right? But usually we're just going by our feelings, right? Usually it's just the feelings, right? So which one is which one? Which one is which one, right? Bottom line is there's value on both sides. You stayed because there's value in it. Even if the value is like, I will lose a lot if I leave. That's still value. In your perception, that is still called value, right? So how do you negotiate? When you want to negotiate, you pull the data, whatever that is, to understand the value. What is it that this person is getting from me? What is it that I'm looking to get from this person? Okay, I would like to stay, but I want to negotiate better terms. Gentlemen, these are the skill sets you need to master. Listen, if you fight and you leave, you still have to honor that contract. The only thing is that there will be casualties. You still have to come back and negotiate. There's no other way around it. The only thing, you waste time. You waste time, you may even waste lives. Right? But you still have to come back, or after that you end up on the streets of the music industry and start talking like this.
When in come internet come talking, say na him make me. I go the write, the record.
Shout out to everybody that if you hear your name on this podcast.
All right, so now they said what they said. They said what they said, right? They didn't realize it was going to go crazy like that. They didn't realize somebody's going to start dropping names, industry names. Why do they care about industry names not being dropped? Because they all depend on those names. Some of those names send them money, gifts. These are all radio hosts and people like that, right? Industry guys, right? They don't want to offend anyone, right? But they want to call certain types of friendship fake. But they really don't want to offend anyone because it can mean the next 20 stacks coming into their pocket next month. Because if you offend this one person, you may end up offending other people by extension, right? Because of their relationship. You can get blackballed easily, especially in Nigerian entertainment industry, right? So now they've said one little crazy thing, like something like, oh, don't be so quick to use the word friends loosely, right? Now they had a guest. They have a guest who was taking it to the next level for them. The way is another level, right? He's dropped names, important names in the industry, right? One of the things he said, his accusation is that this guy in red and blue actually sent people to delete him, sent people to his house to delete him. That's a big allegation. So now, guess what Nadu is about to say? He's about to backtrack small and say, this is what I'm saying. When you have extreme ideologies, slow down. You may feel strongly at any point in time, but you don't know the extent to which the wrong people can use this type of things, right? The key is always an equilibrium that you're looking to strike. It's always a balance you're looking for somewhere, right? You can have your stance. There are things that I have stance on too, but I'm also aware that it can absolutely cost me. All right? Just be aware that it can cost you a lot.
Big. Shout out to everybody that if you hear your name on this podcast, it's not mean that we have anything against you. We love everybody. Skibby is a personal friend.
Is this fake friendship? These are the guys talking about fake friendship, right? Suddenly he loves everybody. Hypocrisy at its best. Let me rewind. I need you to hear that again. This is why you have to be careful when you're judging, because the same measure you'll be judged with. All right? The same thing you're accusing people of, you're probably doing the same thing. Like, for example, you're in a relationship because you're getting value from it. Does that mean every one of your friendship is fake? Sometimes the value you're getting is emotional. You just feel safe around them. You enjoy spending time around them. It's still value. The moment that thing stops, there's a good chance that you wouldn't want to be around them. Why? Because you're human, like the rest of us, right? Does that make your friendship fake? I'm just saying, maybe they do the math with wisdom. That's all I'm saying. I can actually be wrong in all of this, okay? Just some food for thought, right?
KC is a brother. Everybody.
KC is a brother. So not even friends anymore. Since we want to be semantically motivated, right? It's all semantics. Now it's a brother. What? People are fake friends because they're not really friends, but they're a brother. In the same breath, in the same podcast, I'm just asking. It's a question. Let me go back because that's interesting right there. The way that flipped really, really quickly.
Shout out to everybody that I mean, if you hear your name on this podcast, it's not mean that we have anything against you. We love everybody. Skippy is a personal friend. Casey is a brother. Everybody will love you regardless.
We love you.
Nobody's holding any grudges against anybody. But one question I want to ask, I never heard this one before.
No, but people they see them as my friends.
I know say Juju did the industry.
But wait,
now the courtism where did the industry not understand.
Even this Juju,
but they say it now.
Wait, even this Juju where they talk.
All right, so for those of you that live in America, what do we call juju in America lingo? There's a name for it. I don't think they call it juju here. What do you call fetish stuff, diabolic stuff in American language, American slangs? It's escaped me right now. But anyway, let's keep going. They're talking about like they're into fetish and all kind of fetish stuff. You know, they go to traditional priests to go do things against themselves, I guess, to hurt themselves spiritually, whatever. Stuff you can argue for or against, right? It's spiritual, right? But let's see what this other guy has to say about that.
Let me tell you, whether you like it or not, because I'm a spiritual person, because I have a pastor that we pray almost all the time. That's what Matera knows. The juju in this industry.
Oh my God! You don't even want to. You don't even want to go.
Why is everyone so quick to agree to that? Voodoo, thank you, Jerry. Voodoo, they call it voodoo. So for my American friends listening, juju means voodoo. They're talking about voodoo, right? So they're saying there's a lot of voodoo practices in the industry, and particularly people using it either to boost their career or to destroy the competition, right? Right? Oh, she is say roots. No, I think it's voodoo. They call it roots too, but the most popular language they use is voodoo, right? Yeah. Oh, do they call it in the South? They call it roots. Okay, they probably do call it roots in the South. You're right about that. Yeah. But yeah, in the city, I think it's called voodoo for the most part. So now they talk about they practice voodoo and again, the hypocrisy is what I want you to pay attention to. Okay, right? So people want to call out people using voodoo to boost their career, right? Which, by the way, even to me is still weird for anyone to do that, right? But I'll be very honest with you right now in a second, okay? Again, the level of honesty you're going to get here, I'm not bragging. I think, okay? You're not going to get anywhere else, okay? So we want to accuse people of using voodoo. You see, they said they have cults, right? They have cults. The Illuminatis and all that craziness, right? They even said, they also say Jay-Z also is, is part of the Illuminati, right? Once people become successful, if a church blows up and becomes popular, my pastor wives and I were still having this conversation yesterday. When a church blows up and just get popular suddenly, people naturally will say, hey, that pastor must be up to no good. They just say that, right? If they can't understand how they grew so fast. We do that as human beings, okay? So that's what they're talking about. Let's play that again.
In this industry.
Oh my God! You don't even want to. You don't even want to go there. It's heavy.
So
it's crazy.
Okay. The good thing
juju in this industry.
The juju, and now because when I was in
So juju is voodoo, okay? But juju, just know that I'm gonna say juju henceforth. I won't have to explain it again, right? Chia says, same in the industry, hence people in the industry here selling their souls to the devil. They do what they have to do to succeed. But listen to what husband material has to say, and I found it very interesting, and that's where what I'm going to say is going to come from.
For example, people who engage in trade, for example, might be involved in one or two stuff,
like we get shop
to maybe get patronage and make some extra profit.
Yeah.
Some people, they put anointing oil.
Thank you. Okay, so if you take anointing oil from your church, let's talk. Let's be candid. Frankly speaking, okay, can we be honest? Can we possibly be objective about this, or religion can help, right? Because again, when we talk about religion, it's very hard to be objective. Or politics, right? If you're taking sides, if you're not an analyst, right? Let's be honest, right? I want to hear your thoughts on this. If you put anointing oil, bring it from your church and you put it on your desk, or between the cubicles of your job, right? To help yourself become promoted, there are about 5 other people competing for that position, right? Is that the same thing as using voodoo? Hanging a little weird ass stuff right next to your cubicle so that your boss can see you faster? Favor! I pray for favor too. I want favor. I already told you, I'm out to destroy my competition. I was honest about that from the beginning, right? It's just the reality, right? Some people are not willing to admit it, or they can't what's the word? They can't verbalize it exactly, the reality. They just know they feel some type of way, like, of course I want to beat my competition, but I also want to be nice. I don't want to bring voodoo to destroy others. No, wait, it's not voodoo, it's anointing oil. Is this something, because me too, I feel the same fear. Are we scared of saying anointing oil, using anointing oil and using voodoo to boost your chances? Are we scared to say it's kind of like the same thing? Or it's not that we're scared. Are they really different? Are they really different? I'm asking. These are the questions you want to ask yourself. Are they really different? Right? Again, it's the hypocrisy. I didn't call it out. The other guy called it out. He called out the hypocrisy. Let me rewind so I can play. You can hear it again.
To maybe get patronage and make some extra profit.
Yeah.
Some people,
all the money you're ever going to make is coming from somebody else's hands. You happen to have more value than they do. They decide to pay you for the value that you're bringing. Money doesn't fall out of the skies. If it does, you're going to pay for it. It's called interest rates. If somebody prints money, somebody's going to pay for it. It's going to devalue that money. Right? It's called inflation, right? So, anytime you pay for extra patronage of your business to come to you, and you put anointing everywhere, is it the same motive at least? Okay, let's we are Christians. It's not the same thing. Is it the same motive? If it's the same motive, selfish ass motive, fake friendship type of motive, because that person in the next cubicle is your friend too. You guys should just share the seat of the CEO when they promote Una together, right? So what are we talking about exactly? Let me see. Gigi says, that can be seen as voodoo by others who don't share your religious beliefs. Exactly. Can we see it as the same motive? Listen, I know I got competition. It's about 5,000 other people competing for the same position we're trying to get promoted to. But I want it. I want that position. And I'll do anything to destroy you. I will go and buy olive oil. I have my pastor pray to it, and I will put it all over everywhere. They do a lot of that in Nigeria, by the way. Right? Or I'll go see the what do you call it? The traditional doctor who will give me a little ado and I'll put it in the corner. When Nigerians see in 2022, when Nigerians see ado, they go mad and crazy because they watch too much Nollywood movies. But this was actually the traditional religion that people were practicing up to just about 125 years ago. Many people still practice those things. It's just a religion. It's just their own point of contact to Olodumare. But if you see Nedu's mouth when he said, juju, plenty, like it's like you think it's something completely wild and crazy. But we're just deceiving ourselves. We're just human beings, right? Right? We have graven images that we make for ourselves. We worship human beings as opposed to worshiping God, right? Because they give us a sense of contact to a higher being, right? All those different things. This is why all these different things does not necessarily help our relationships, right? Everyone is out for what they want, not necessarily out to get you. If your mindset is that they're out to get you, you would destroy your best relationships prematurely. Why? Because your mindset, and naturally so. If somebody's out to get you, the next natural move to do is to destroy them. Sometimes it doesn't mean physically, it's your mouth, right? Like your lethal weapon, you say the worst things to them that once they leave you, they don't want to come around again because you've destroyed their self-esteem with your mouth. Why? Because you felt they were out to get you. If your mindset is always about people want to get you, if you're driven by this type of mindset, you will destroy your relationships. Relationships are meant to be symbiotic, meaning you get from each other, but it doesn't always feel that way. Sometimes you have to be patient long enough to feel that. Sometimes it's going to feel like the other person is cheating you, right?
People they put anointing oil. I just they talk.
Yeah.
Some go spray holy water. Some go hang some things for
Holy
their
water.
marketplace in hopes that the thing go bring business.
Shop 222.
This juju what would they talk about first? Share for example now say now your voice.
My wife and I, when we first got married, we used to live in this apartment, and the apartment right next across us is there were Indians, right? And they have something that they hang on their door. And we saw that for quite a few years, right? When we're coming right off our apartment, we see that thing. The way I was raised, the way I think is a little bit different from an average person. I'm a little bit different, okay? I'm a little special, right? But the way I was raised, we will go into 3 days, 7 days fasting and prayer when we see that thing go. Just to, like any power inside that thing, we must destroy it, right? But I actually saw that thing for years. They hang something on their own door, right? They have their own religious belief, right? It looks fetish. They're supposed to look like fetish stuff, right? That's the idea, right? That's the idea, right? But some of us, we can't think past that. That's who we are because we were raised that way, right? And anytime we see anything like that, we're very, very quick to say, this one, we must pray. Some people will pray for that couple who lives in that other apartment that they must move. They must move. A low tolerance for other people's belief system, right? That's what Nedu just practiced when he said, juju's all. No, first of all, it's probably not juju. Second of all, it's all cap, okay? Third of all, okay, what if it's juju? And what is new about a person using their own belief system to pray for better, unless they are looking to physically destroy you? If it's just spiritually destroy you, that's what their belief system is. They have the right to destroy you if you're a competition. I'm just being honest with you. They have the right to do that. You're a competition, my G. Right? Who is going to tell us this type of truth? Equip yourself. Improve your own skills. Right? Rather than worrying about what those other people are doing, and then you're coming up and say they want to spiritually hurt you. Like, listen, of course they want to spiritually hurt you. You're a competition. They don't have the right to physically touch you. They don't have the right to steal from you, right? They don't have the right to defraud you, because you can take them to court for those things. But spiritually, bro, of course. Especially when we're fighting for the same position, right? Now you can say, hey, that crazy ass thing you hang by our cubicle, please, I'm not comfortable, please remove it. You can say that. All right, you have the right to say that too, right? Or wait, I saw somebody spill oil. You're not putting anointing oil over my table, right? I'm sure somebody has gone through something like that, especially in Nigeria. Let me continue.
Let's go sweet pass. Like if you sing, your voice go sweet pass Whiskey own, or you go get lyrics pass Burna Boy, or the love wave.
Do you think people pray? Like Whiskey's mother have special prayer for him so that he can continue to beat Davido? Continue to be the biggest star in Nigeria. Okay, if you think that, okay, even if you don't think that, do you think they have the right to do that? Do you realize that if that's happening, they're spiritually trying to destroy Davido? That's what I'm talking about, right? That's the example you just gave, right? Is that fair for people to be competitive in a professional setting? What if the person comes back later and said, it was all fake friendship? What? Fake friendship is about
fans go give you go pass the video. I don't understand how the juju works in it. Or you go hold the other person voice.
Sometimes
the person not go move up for the chat.
It's just us really thinking that maybe because of too much Nollywood, I don't know. But except you have actually seen somebody really doing something fetish and say, okay, I'm doing it because I'm in this industry to prosper. I just feel like sometimes too much in Nollywood also gets us to these juju parts. So that's why it feels like every time you see someone doing well or something, we just
they say don't join Illuminati.
You know. So
she's right, but even to take it to the next level, if you bring anointing oil to your job place and you're wetting everywhere without holy water, even ordinary holy water, that is fetish behavior. It's just okay. It's coming from the same place. All right? It's the same thing. You have the right to do it. Is the point I'm making, right? And people have the right to say, hey, why you always do this crazy stuff around us? Can you please respect? It's a cubicle, it's a working area. Please don't do that. Oh, by the way, your boss, your CEO is going to wet the office before you come in the morning in Nigeria with holy water. You can choose to work there or not. If you're not comfortable, maybe they were praying about you for God to eject you anyway. Maybe you are part of the reason in their mind why the company is declining in the marketplace, right? These are some of the things we should pay attention to. So again, just back to the topic real quick, right? It's a little tricky. It's not clear cut, right? There are fake friendship. That's the verdict. There are. Most of the friendships that people are calling fake is not fake. It's either because you're terrible at whatever we're talking about, your skill set. Like we know that this guy is not terrible. We know that he's good at what he does. He's a good songwriter. Let me see if we can put his face on there. Let me just go ahead and we're talking about this guy in white suit, right? We know that he's good at what he does. What he's terrible at is negotiation skills. Okay? Now, yes, that's what he's terrible at. And he's trying to blame the fact that they didn't want to release him from the contract. Listen, getting yourself out of a contract is a tough battle. It's going to take time. It's going to take good negotiation skills. And part of negotiation is to identify the value that you're bringing to those people. Something they're getting from you that they can't get from anywhere else. Now, what is it that you're getting from them that you can't get from anywhere else, right? Sometimes you have to be a little manipulative with that. Not manipulative per se, but you have to sell it. You have to be persuasive about the value. So not manipulation, actually, it's not necessary, right? If you're not, part of your persuasion skills is your patience. If you're not patient enough to go through that process, you're going to run out into the streets of social media and say, these people don't want to release you from a contract. They call you a thief. Yeah, they can call you a thief because if your negotiation skills are terrible, you make them feel like you're a thief. They can call you a thief, right? And before you know it, you start running around street and you start saying, right? Now, in terms of this guy in red and blue sending people to go and delete him, it's the words against each other. I'm not sure. One thing I know is that he's filed a lawsuit for 500 million naira against him for libel. So I guess he's confident that there's no proof that he sent anyone. I know in Nigeria people can send thugs to roughen people up. They do that. They do that here too. Not as much as Nigeria though, right? But they will do stuff like that, right? And that's probably what he's talking about. But you still want to make sure that you have. You still want to make sure that you have the right, the proof, right? Because even if it's true, if you don't have proof, if you get sued for libel, you will pay. Why? Because you're terrible at negotiation skills, and it's fair. See, this is part of this dangerous word that we don't want to admit or we don't want to accept. You don't have a choice but to accept it. This world is fair. If you lack negotiation skills, you will suck at your relationships and especially your business relationships. You will self-destruct and you will be right still that everyone is out to get you. Yeah, you can be right, but that was always the default. Everyone is out for what they want. Everyone what they want. Everyone is getting some kind of value. Remember this? Hey, shout out to Brother Patrick. Good to see you, Brother Patrick. He says, nothing works like work. If you don't work, nothing will work for you. That's a fact. That is, in fact, a fact, right? But remember this. 6 human needs. Every friendship has 1 or 2 or all of this in it. There's no, in your definition of fake friendship, there is no real friendship. Once the friendship is based off of one of these 6 things: certainty, variety, significance, connection. Oh, you didn't think that was valuable? Like you felt a sense of connection with a person? You don't think that's value that you're getting from that friendship? That is value. The moment you don't feel that, you don't want to be around them. You're a human being. You don't want to be around them if you're not feeling a sense of connection. Growth. Sometimes you feel like you align yourself with them is opportunity for you to grow. Right? They say, show me your friends, right? They say, show me your 5 friends. I can tell you the average of your income. All those kind of stuff is real. Right? Does that mean it's fake friendship? Sometimes you're their friends because you're contributing to them. Oh, wait. But I'm contributing to them. What feelings do you get from when you contribute to someone's charity? How good does it feel when you help another person? That good feeling is value for you. So even if you tend to take on projects as friends, right? They tend to be all these people that milk you and drain you. It's still you. There's some kind of value you're getting from taking on projects. It's hurting you, but from an emotional standpoint, you're getting value from that. And of course, every other sense of contribution. Sometimes they're the one contributing to your life. It could be morally, it could be emotionally, it could be spiritually, right? It makes you feel safe, right? That is still value. So if you're going to redefine friendship, think again. Is this coming from a selfish place? Am I coming from a place of hurt and betrayal? Right? A friend is a friend. You felt safe enough to call them a friend. They are no longer a friend. It's okay. Drink water. Relax. Get some new friends. You need friends in your life. It's a matter of fact. You need friends in your life. Or should you vet better for friends? Yes, you should. But I'm not sure how capable you are of vetting for friends if you are going off of your emotions to quickly call people in the past no longer your friends. I'm not sure how capable you are of. You're not capable of vetting properly if you're judging your past friendships with emotions. You're not that capable. It's better that you nurture relationships. Okay? It's better that you say, hey, this was my friend. I value what we had. Maybe because of circumstances, it's no longer friendship. In this situation, this guy right here, right? It was friendship. They traveled the world together. They made money together. It was over. They don't like each other anymore. It became toxic, nasty. He was stubborn. This guy in white, everything, all the indications show he was a very stubborn guy. Okay? He thought he could use strong arm to get out of contract. The contract was unfair. You signed it. It was fair. Oh, but they should have told me I should have gotten a lawyer. No, you should have known you need a lawyer. If you didn't know, it's okay. Now you do know. Learn how to negotiate your way out of a bad contract. That skill set, that negotiation skills is going to go with you into many other aspects of your life. You will find it extremely useful in life. It's a life skill. It's a life skill. You need to know how to negotiate, which means you know how to identify value beyond moral values. Because some of you are stuck on the moral value thing, right? And meaning my value is my value. No, what about how the other person perceives value? What is it that they perceive as value? The person that you want to engage in one shape, form, or the other, they care about something. Have you taken the time to find out what is it that they care about? Right? Oh, they're just evil. They're just evil. Nah, if they were that evil, you're just as evil because somehow you attracted evil. Stop the cap. All right. But that's all I have for you today. Again, I'll be back here tomorrow, and Tuesday is definitely going to be 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So that's 10 p.m. New York time. Tomorrow, definitely. Okay. So do me a favor. Please go ahead on your way out. Hit the like button if you haven't done so. Share, subscribe. Grab the link to this video and send it to 3 people. Can you do me that favor? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. And I'll see you on the next one, and peace.